Hello, I'm live on YouTube. This is my very first live stream on YouTube. I've done literally hundreds on Facebook and other platforms, but this is my first one on YouTube. So there you go. I'm a YouTube virgin for going live. Right, as promised, um, I wanted to do a, a live stream with my top 10 tips on how to develop psychically and mediumistically. Um, Following on from a live stream or from an interview I did with Dr. David Morrison at the weekend. There was interest in me doing this. So, first of all, why should you listen to me? Why me? Well, I started my spiritual path 22 years ago, meditating daily. That led to spiritual experiences. I've been a professional medium. People pay me for readings. I've taught groups online internationally. I've taught in-person groups, holding what do you call them, open circles and closed private circles over the years. So I know a thing or two about these subjects, and this is just my way, my experiences. You can take from this what you may and leave the rest behind. If something doesn't resonate, that's fine. That's fine. This is just my way, my experience. As I say, take from it what you may. You've got to find your own way initially, ultimately, which I encourage you to do. But if I can share something of value with you today, then that's the main thing, and all the better. So we're going to get going with tip number 1. That's it's tip stroke insight. I've got them all written down to keep me on topic. So first of all, the definition. The psychic and a medium. It's not the same thing if you want a psychic reading or a mediumistic reading. They're two different things. They say all mediums are also psychic, but not all psychics are also mediums. That's not to say hierarchy or one's better than the other. They're just different skill sets. So if you're a medium, you will connect to a discarnate, deceased soul in the spirit world and bring forth survival evidence that the soul or the spirit lives on to your sitter or to the person sitting in front of you, whether it's their grandmother or their mother or father, whoever it might be. You'll connect to that deceased spirit, passing messages on, listening to them, to you, to the person in front of you. Hopefully, it will bring them comfort, healing, maybe put them at ease. Maybe they'll get closure they never had. That's what a good reading can bring. And also, life after death, the spirit lives on, albeit on a different plane of existence. A psychic reading, on the other hand, the reader focuses on the person in front of them that is living. And it'll give them an overview of their life, any unresolved emotional issues they may have, possible ways to surmount those unresolved emotional issues. They might say things like, I see you've got a job working at a desk in an office. I see you working with dozens of other people, for example. You live in a house, it's not a flat, it's got an upstairs, it's got a red door, you drive a blue car, just things that the person will know. They'll be able to say, oh yes, that's me. And that just gives proof that you are in connection with them, things that you wouldn't normally know, more than just guesswork. And then you'll give possible outcomes of where you might end up with the current thought systems, emotions, belief systems, projections. And these aren't written in stone, by the way. Things can change even just by having that reading. It might change, I'm sure it will change the psyche and the thinking. With both types of readings, you've got a big responsibility. Some of the things I've heard people, readers tell clients, which you just think, oh my God, you've really got to exercise some thought, some professionalism, and conduct yourself in a responsible manner. But that's a whole other story. So that's the first one, definition of a medium and a psychic. If you've got any questions, pop them down below. Maybe if you like this sort of content, maybe give me a like and a subscribe. It would mean a lot to me and really helps the channel grow. I've just started growing my audience on YouTube deliberately. I've been growing my audience on Facebook for years. That's where I've been hanging out. But I've just switched to this channel more recently. So thank you. So the next tip is comparisons with others is an ego trap and can be painful and pointless. So what do I mean by that? Well, it's easy to think, well, oh, this person gets more than I do when they're doing readings or when they're tuning into things, or they seem to see and I don't, I just hear, or they see and hear and I just feel, whatever it might be, or they seem to be moving along quicker than I am. We all have unique talents and skills, and they all come in the right time when you're ready for it. For example, my own journey, I got pancreatic cancer 2 years, 3-4 months ago. Had major surgery, 12-hour operation. They removed all kinds. I won't go into it. But as you can imagine, over the last 2.5 years, I've been healing, had a lot of stress, worry about dying myself. And I had to pull back from my own healing work. I used to do client work professionally. And as you can probably imagine, I haven't been getting a lot of otherworldly communication during this time. So sometimes you go through growth phases, you go through quiet spells, and don't judge yourself on other people's progress. Just try and focus on you. And I know it's hard. I know it is. But just do your best. Because there'll be times when your growth gallops along and maybe they pull back for whatever reason. So, like there are times when I was doing readings where I would see, feel, and hear simultaneously. They are great, amazing readings. You're in flow, seeing, feeling, hearing. Wow. But there are other times when I'm just feeling. I'm not seeing or hearing. Oops, I'm doing that. Sorry, didn't mean to. Don't want to do that to my audience. Or there's times I'm just seeing, just hearing, just feeling, but you can still work with that. And that can depend on how well a communicator is able to communicate if you do mediumship. Or maybe you've been stressed, or maybe you're not at a level of growth to hold all three because you've been feeling unwell, whatever it might be. So don't compare yourself to others, because whenever you do, we normally do it unfavorably and you feel worse. So it's just an ego trap. That's point number 2. Point number 3, we all work differently, and as such, we'll have our own unique gifts and talents. So that's kind of similar to point number 2. But some people are strong clairvoyants, ability to see. Clairvoyance is clear seeing, the inner eye, the inner spiritual sight. Clairaudience is to hear the inner thought voice, the inner dialogue. And then feeling is the clairsentience, just the ability to just know and to feel things. You might even pick up conditions like, oh, this person would have, I feel like I'm drowning. When I breathe, this person may have, the lungs or the part may have failed and the lungs start to fill up with fluid. Or feels like there's an elephant sitting on my chest. This person would have had a heart condition, or maybe got past with a heart attack, this sort of thing. That's clairsentience. As I say, you may be really strong at one, and that's fine. It's a gift. You may have all 3, you may have 2. There's no right or wrong. And you will be uniquely talented. And, if you're working as a medium, they will work with you in a unique and powerful way that is just right for you and your growth. And another thing that springs to mind, don't try and be in a hurry. We all want things now. We want it yesterday. It's not coming in fast enough. But think about a child, right? So you've got a 3-year-old child, and How often have you heard a 3-year-old child say, "Come on, I'll give you a piggyback," to an adult? "Get on my back, I'll give you a piggyback." You know full well they're not strong enough to hold you. You'd hurt them. But they don't. The 3-year-old child doesn't have that awareness yet. They haven't learned for themselves. So in many ways, we can be like that 3-year-old child as an adult. We don't yet have the awareness, the mind energy, the spiritual growth to be moving as fast as we would like. And trust me, to get all that in one go, you'd go mad. You wouldn't be able to sustain it, to process it. So slow, steady, and deliberate wins the race. Remember the tortoise and the hare race. So what have we got next for tip number 4? Sorry. Working alone versus in a group. So for the first 18 months of my development, I've read 100 books or more, probably more than that. Meditated every day, had all kinds of spiritual, psychic experiences. And at the end of it, I was more confused than when I started. Yes, I could tune into things. I was getting random visitors, spirit visitors of a night time, and visions and things like this, psychic experiences. But I was confused. All the books were contradicting each other. So I put out a thought to the universe. I need a teacher. I need someone to teach me. Within a short space of time, a teacher entered my life. And she taught me. Her name is Diana Maria Bambra. Yeah, Diana Bambra. Some of you might know she's quite prolific in the Northeast and beyond. And she was running a 10-week course, and for the 10 weeks I sat in the development circle and things just made more sense. She joined all the dots and gave a framework to work with. And by the end of it, I was giving readings with structure, with confidence, and had a way forward after that. So that 10 weeks in development gave me a framework. You're sitting with other like-minded souls, and it can help raise the energy quicker. If you're sitting in development for longer periods, like 6 months, for example, you'll know when it's time to leave. You'll feel that the nudge. Groups can be great, but they only work to the lowest common denominator of energy. So if the group is taken from your energy to help others along, that's fine if you're okay with that. Where I'm at in my development, I'd be okay sitting in a circle to help give my energy. But when I was developing, that's not what I want. So you just got to be mindful of that. What else have I got written down? And you will have growth phases where things go quiet. Like I say, for me, it's been a couple of years. It's not usually as long as that. It can be weeks or months. When things go quiet, just keep meditating. Enjoy the quiet time. Maybe meditate and view a lake, a peaceful lake, swans on it, or a mountain, or whatever it is, and just know and have faith and trust that things will come back when they're meant to, and they will. They will, I promise. Next, these are no particular order as such, but I'm just going to point us down to help me out. The next tip is grounding practice. Before you do any spiritual work, and it's a good practice to do throughout your day, just ground yourself. How do you ground yourself? Just, if you're at work and you're standing, just intend to grow roots from the base of your feet deep down into the earth. And or from your root chakra, see red energy going deep down into the earth. And just intend to drop down any energy that isn't yours, that you're ready to release, into your grounding cord, and just feel more connected to the earth. That's just a simple grounding technique you can do here and now. The more you do it, the quicker it can happen. Or you can wiggle your fingers and toes. I do that often if I'm feeling ungrounded, especially in a busy place. I wiggle my fingers and toes and I instantly feel more in my body. That's another good one. Especially if you're working in circle work, start off grounded and ground the energy afterwards. There's a myriad of grounding meditations and techniques on YouTube if you want to do a search for those as well. Moving on, psychic protection. This can be quite a contentious issue. I could probably write a book on why you do need psychic protection, why you wouldn't. I don't use psychic protection normally. Do the odd time, but it's a bit like this yin yang universe. If you think you need protection from something, then you will need protect. There will be something come to protect you that you need protecting from. I'll give you 2 examples. Next door neighbour, he installed CCTV cameras on his property. He moved in, young lad, lovely guy by the way. I love him to bits. And then he got more cameras fitted. And guess who was the only person in the streets to have the police out all the time, and break-in attempts and so on? Him, he thought, I need protection. CCTV. Someone tried to steal his car. Someone tried to break in. And I've lived in the street for years. And the lady who lived next door to me before him never had any problems. He's the only person in the street needed protection, so he needed something to protect him from. Something was happening to protect him from. Does that make sense? I've heard of pubs. Operates for years and years, busy weekends, no doorman, no bouncers on the door. The council then come in and say, oh, with this many people, we're going to close you down unless you have at least 4 doormen from next weekend. So all of a sudden they've got a paid doorman to come. And then guess what? They start getting bothered. Never had it before. I'm not blaming the doorman. It's not where I'm going with this. I know some doormen who are fabulous, good friends of mine. But you get the point. Sometimes, you've. So I personally don't. The only time I do is if I'm getting psychically attacked, and even then, psychically attacked can be someone who's angry with you. They're not really psychically attacking you; they're just angry with you, and I may put things in place. Like a mirror to deflect the energy, or I'll visualize removing the cord and putting a rose on the end to diffuse the energy, those sorts of things, but that's about it. Next up is empathy and psychic sensitivity. Again, another contentious one I hear a lot, and I was the same in early development. I'd say, I'm picking up on someone's anger, it's not mine. I'm picking up on someone's sadness or anxiety, it's not mine. And I'm kind of here to tell you that it can be yours. Like, it can be. Yes, if you're sensitive, you can walk into a room and get the energy of the room. Maybe you can feel like you can cut it with a knife. But if you're feeling anxious or depressed or whatever, ultimately, if there wasn't a part of you that was a vibrational match, on a subconscious level, that wouldn't hang around for long. If it was just true empathy, you'd feel it transiently, like in a reading, and it would fall away, and then you'd get on with the reading. If it's lingering around and you can't clear it or ground it, there's something there for you to look at, potentially, which also brings me on to the next subject. What the hell was it? Yeah, when you start developing psychically and meditating, the ego can also come in because it wants to keep in charge, and it can almost attack you. When I say attack, in inverted commas, so people can feel down and depressed for a while and think they're not making progress, but they are actually making progress. They've got to keep going and keep going and keep going. So that's something else to watch out for. This isn't an easy path. I'm going to repeat that, repetition for emphasis. This isn't an easy path. It's not for the faint-hearted. There are many times when I've felt like quitting it, and So now, if I'm feeling certain negative emotions, I just observe them. Turn off the stories in my mind, just observe. And these days, it quite often just dissipates, falls away, rather than get lost in the stories. So what's next? I don't want to make this video go on and on forever. Photographic readings and psychology. You can practice doing your readings with photographs. Just hold the photograph and look at it, and don't think. Turn off thinking, just sense and feel. What am I feeling about this person? It might help to meditate first to try and calm your mind. And then if feelings and thoughts pop into your mind, write them down. Oh, I can see a nurse. I see a female nurse. Write it down. And you might feed that back to the person who might say, oh yeah, my sister's a nurse. Yeah, I understand that. Or my wife's a nurse. And you might get all kinds of impressions. I see, I don't know, see someone dancing. Oh yeah, I love dancing. I go dancing every week. So if you see something, don't dismiss it. Just write it down and feed it back to the recipient of the photograph. What else? There's some points. And if you want to know the difference between a psychic impression and your thought process, you'll think of something and then you'll see it. If it's a psychic impression, you'll receive something, then think about it. It's a subtle difference, but it's powerful and important. And again, practice makes perfect. That's how you do it. Just turn off thinking, just sense and feel. What am I sensing? What am I feeling? Same with psychometry. Pick an object, could be a ring, hold it in your hand, and just sense and feel. Practice makes perfect. And don't worry about getting it wrong. Don't worry. It doesn't matter. And quite often you'll give something to a person. They'll say no at the time, and then they'll say, oh yeah, I forgot about this. It did make sense after the event when I thought about it, or it's still yet to come in their experience. Yeah. And practice on supportive individuals, someone who aren't skeptical and cynical and like, oh, no rubbish. And because, they're not going to help you on your journey. They're not going to be supportive in the way you need initially. Next, I've got written down raising your vibration to get a stronger link. If you're not getting any impressions, close your eyes and just raise your vibration, your energy. How do you do that? I'll do it. I'll say, Christy Marie Sheldon used to teach this, and she'd say, I love, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you're sensitive, you'll feel my energy raising there. Thank you. One of the highest vibrations is gratitude and love. And see it and feel it with gusto. If you're in a situation publicly, you don't have to say it out loud. Just think, I love, thank you. And you'll raise your vibration. It makes it a lot easier to connect, whether it's mediumship, psychic readings. So raising your vibration. Little ninja tip there. And finally, next steps. What can you do next? If you're watching this video and you think, what can I do next? How can I move forward? You can practice on me. You can pause this video and look at the video. My name is Danny Green, which you know. To get someone's energy, my star sign is Virgo. So you can see Danny Green, Virgo. You're more or less getting someone's energy there. Look at the screen, calm your thoughts, and then just as impressions rise, write them down. I'll feed back to you in a positive, supportive way and offer other tips and skills that might help you if you're interested. If you're interested, drop a comment below. I can send you an email address and or I can give you an email address. Right off the bat, I know I'm just some guy on the internet you don't know. I'm not interested in trying to chat. If you're a woman, trying to chat up, it's not what I'm about. I respect people's privacy, boundaries. I'm not going to try and hit on hit on women or men for that matter. I'm just, it's not where I'm at. I'm offering to serve. I'm offering to help. If that is some support that you want, I've been doing this for years. It's up to you. Anyway, this video has gone on for 25 minutes. If you've got value from it, please like, subscribe if you like this sort of thing, and comment down below with your feedback. Hope that was useful to you. Much love, and bye for now till the next one. I've got another video coming out on Friday. Bye for now.